Hi, I'm Marina.
And I'm Abby.
And this is Camp TV. Reporter Josie has a very interesting interview with Farmers Market Manager Stephanie Willette. Watch and listen to what we learned about Ann Arbor Farmers Market.
Hello, I'm Josie, and today I have Stephanie from the Ann Arbor Farmers Market. So, Stephanie, what is the Ann Arbor Farmers Market?
Hey, Josie. The Ann Arbor Farmers Market is one of Michigan's oldest farmers markets. It's 99 years old, and we're a farmers market right in downtown Ann Arbor. And we're also, what's special about the market is we're a producers-only market, and that means that vendors who come have to make or grow their own stuff and their own food. They're not allowed to buy it somewhere else and resell it. So all of our farmers, they are from nearby and they're local because they're making their own stuff.
Okay. And when is the market open?
Right now, the market is actually open all year. It's open in the winter. So it's open every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. So we have some pretty brave vendors, and they stick it out in the cold. They're outside, but they're there selling. And in the summer, from May to December, we are open Wednesdays and Saturdays, so twice a week.
Okay. What are the job duties of a market manager?
Well, a farmer's market is a lot like a big event, and we have it once a week. So it's a lot like managing a bunch of people and a bunch of things that happen all at once. So what I do is on the farmer's market day, I go around, I make sure the vendors are in the right stalls, I make sure everybody is set up. Then I'm in my office and I greet customers and I help them kind of navigate the market and know what to do. And then there's a lot of work behind the scenes. So non-market days, I do a lot of paperwork, I look at applications, I think I just make sure everything runs smoothly, write grants. And another one of the big things we do is, just making sure that the market itself is up to date and clean. And right now we're working on getting a building built there. So my job is to work with, architects and planners and kind of help make the market move forward and decide what we want to do with the building, if we want that, or in the future. And then finally, it's doing a lot of advocating for the market. So I go out, I talk to people about, we're here, we have great stuff. I do a lot of advertising and a lot of social media and just getting the word out.
Okay. What's the best part about your job?
I would have to say getting to know the farmers. I love that part. I love learning about how they grow the food. And then the other best part is all the really good food I get to eat. So I get the freshest, probably most delicious food you can find, and I get to have that every week, which is pretty awesome. Okay.
How many farm stands are at the market?
So there's 144 stalls.
Wow.
Yeah. Some vendors, though, they take more than one stall. So we have 130 vendors right now. They don't all show up at once, luckily, because then it would be really full. And we'd have to put people on the sidewalk. But yeah, probably on average we have maybe in the summer 70 to 100 vendors that come.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's more than I expected.
Oh yeah, it's a big market.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How do farmers become vendors at the market?
So the process is if someone wants to sell at our market, they turn in an application, which is our application's pretty long because we do get a lot of applications and we want to make sure it's going to fit and it's a right fit for the market. So once they turn that in, then I will review it, and I have to think about a lot of things when we're looking at a new vendor. So I have to think about, do we already have this at the market? Do we have too much of it already? Or is this something that we really want that we don't have that, customers are looking for? So that's one of the things we look at. Another thing is are they producer only? So do they make their own stuff? Sometimes we get an application that, they don't grow everything themselves, and then they're just not the right fit for us.
Okay. What other events does the farmer market sponsor?
So our other big event that we do are the food truck rallies, and those are in the summer. They're once a month. Food trucks are kind of this new thing that's come into the food movement, and they're like traveling restaurants. They're really cool. There's a lot of different kinds of cuisine and food that are being made by these food trucks. And they just travel around the city or around the state, and then they pop up and they serve food. So we have a big celebration, and we have music, and we have like 13 different kinds of food trucks, which means like 13 different kinds of meals people can buy. And we just make it like a really big fun event. And I think that's been great for the market because we focus so often on farmers and our artisans, but we don't focus as much on what happens after people buy the food. They make it into a meal, right? And so this is a chance for people to come down and see what's possible to do with this great food that people are buying. So like, what meals can you make, and what's this great food that's coming out of it?
Okay. Why is it important that people support the farmers market?
Well, I think there are a lot of reasons to come shop at the farmers market. One of the reasons to come is it's just really fun. It's a great place to come and see what it's about and hang out and meet people and meet farmers, and sometimes we have music, and it's just, something to do. But another big reason is when you shop local, you support the environment. And the reason for that is when you buy food at the grocery store, a lot of that food has to travel thousands and thousands of miles. So it comes from California or it comes from Florida. And that takes a lot of gas and that takes a lot of energy. So when you buy at the farmer's market, that food is coming from really close by. And so there's not as much fossil fuels. There's not as much energy being put into getting that food there. And that actually really helps our environment. Another good reason is because you're supporting local businesses. And that's great because the money then stays in our city. It stays local. You're keeping our spending and you're keeping our money here at home, which just helps everyone out because it makes everyone, if you pay someone here versus there, then they can spend it also in the community. And that usually, is good for our economy. Finally, I would say, two more reasons. I think it's healthier. A lot of our farmers, if you get to know them, use organic practices, which means they don't use harmful chemicals on their crops. So you have a lot of choices at the farmer's market for fruit and vegetables that are whole and that aren't processed too much and that don't use too many chemicals. And then I would say finally, it's important because these farms that you're buying from and the businesses you're buying from, you're supporting them. So every dollar you spend is kind of like a vote with your dollar.
Sorry, but I have to cut you off.
No
We
problem.
are out of time. Thanks for joining us at Camp TV. We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.
Great interview, Josie. You did an awesome job. Coming up next, reporter Zoe was sitting down with Rebecca Snider from the City of Ann Arbor's Natural Preservation. Let's take a look at what she learned.
Hi, I'm Zoe from Camp TV. Here I have Rebecca from the Natural Area Preservation in Ann Arbor. Thanks for coming, Rebecca.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so what is NAP?
Natural Area Preservation, we are part of the City of Ann Arbor's Parks Department. Our mission is to protect and restore Ann Arbor's natural areas and to foster an environmental ethic among its citizens. So basically what we do is we work in the city's natural areas and we take care of the nature that's there.
All right, what is your job role within NAP?
I work with the volunteers. A lot of the things I do are communication. I put together the newsletter that we produce quarterly, and I send out postcards and emails and things like that to recruit volunteers.
And what's the best part about your job?
I love leading our work days. So we have, almost every weekend we have volunteers come out to one of the parks and work with us to, usually we remove invasive species or we create new trails or we collect seeds from native plants. And we have volunteers work with us, and it's so much fun.
Why is it important that NAP exists?
Well, our parks are threatened by invasive species. These are non-native plants that have come into the parks usually through escaping cultivation, and they outcompete the native plants. So what they do is they have longer growing seasons, or they grow faster, or they're just really good at using the water and the nutrients. So they kind of take over. And pretty soon the area is just one species of buckthorn or just a whole lot of garlic mustard. And that's just, it's not very healthy ecosystem to have just one species like that. And it can lead to animal species loss as well, because a lot of our animals are adapted to living with our native plants. So what we do is we try to control that and try to keep the ecosystems healthy by having a wide variety of native plants there.
And what types of animals does NAP work with?
Our work with animals involves monitoring the populations. So what we do is we have a lot of volunteers who go out and they look for certain animals like birds, frogs and toads, turtles, butterflies, and what they do is they record what they see. So then we can use that to see how healthy the ecosystem is.
And why is it important that people support Ann Arbor parks?
Well, parks provide a lot of services. They can be, I mean, the trees produce oxygen, and they absorb the stormwater, and there's just a lot of really great reasons to have nature in the city. So we should support it and keep it healthy so that it takes care of us.
And what can people do to keep Ann Arbor parks beautiful?
Stay on the trails. Don't go trampling through all the plants, because we want to keep those plants healthy. Keep your dogs on a leash for the same reason. We want to keep them out of the natural areas. Don't litter. Pick up litter if you see it while you're out there. And just, don't dump things like your yard waste in the park. Leave it how it is.
And how do you become trained to work as a controlled burn specialist?
We do a training in February every year for our controlled burns. So people can come out and learn how we burn and learn all the tools that we use and learn our techniques. And then they can come, we'll send them a notification every time we're doing a controlled burn, and they can come burn with us.
And what volunteer opportunities does NAP provide?
Well, in addition to the burns, we have the monitors, the animal monitors. We have the work days. That's one of the easiest ways to come volunteer with us, is to show up for a work day. If you want more than just like a one-time work day, you can come sign up to be a park steward, so you can have a park that you work in regularly. We also have photo monitors, so they come take pictures of our work through they stand at very specific point, and take a picture several times a year so we can see the ongoing work there. So we have a lot of different opportunities.
And where can people go to learn more about NAP?
Our website is www.a2gov.org/NAP. We also have a Facebook page, so you can look that up, Ann Arbor Natural Area Preservation, and all our information is on there.
All right, and is there anything else you'd like to mention?
I'd just love to see everybody come join us for a work day. We have a few coming up in February, and then starting in April, we'll be almost every weekend. So come on out to a park and join us.
Okay, thank you. That's all the time we have for today.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the insight on NAP, Zoe. Up next, we have reporter Aspen interviewing Howard Lazarus, the City of Ann Arbor's administrator. Take a look at what we learned.
Hello, I am Aspen Fields, and today I'm here with Howard S. Lazarus, if I'm saying that correctly, the City Administrator of Ann Arbor. So, Howard, can you tell me how you became the City Administrator?
Sure. I responded to a call I got about the position being open. At the time, I was the Public Works Director for the City of Austin, Texas. Ooh. I went through the interview process and was offered the opportunity.
Ooh. So, what do you do? What's the job? What are the jobs that the administrator does?
So the city administrator is responsible for the day-to-day functioning of the city government. The council passes the budget. They create the policy, which is the general direction. And then it's up to me and the people who work with me to take that direction and deliver services to all the residents, all the businesses, and all the visitors to Ann Arbor.
That's interesting. What were you born outside Ann Arbor?
I was actually born in New York City.
Ooh.
And my wife and I have lived in many places over the course of our lives and our careers.
So what was your job before you moved to Ann Arbor?
I was the Public Works Director for the City of Austin, Texas, which meant I took care of the roads, did all the big building projects for them, was involved in providing water and wastewater to the citizens, and was involved in everything from buses and cars through bicycles and pedestrians. And it was really the construction arm for the City of Austin.
Ooh, cool. Where did you go to school?
So I went to high school outside of Philadelphia, to a public high school. My undergraduate degree is from the United States Military Academy at West Point, and my graduate degree is from the Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore.
Cool. How did this education prepare you for this job?
Well, my undergraduate education is in civil engineering, and my graduate degree is in environmental engineering and chemistry. And those are aspects that affect the lives of our citizens every day. Along the way, both by being an officer in the Army and working through private industry, I got to know about the finances, about managing people, and how to organize teams to get things done.
What's the best part about your job? What do you enjoy the most?
I enjoy working with people in the community to help them solve their day-to-day problems, to help them feel good about living in Ann Arbor, and helping to keep this as a place that has a really great quality of life.
Okay, when you say day-to-day problems, what do you mean about like day-to-day problems? Are they really, really big problems?
Well, sometimes they are. Sometimes people experience concerns from a public safety standpoint where they need some help. Sometimes it's just a dispute with their neighbors. Other times they'll report road conditions that need to be improved, or they'll be at a recreation center and make some suggestions about a program that could be done better. All of those things contribute to the daily life in Ann Arbor.
That's cool. What is your favorite place to visit in Ann Arbor?
I really like spending fall mornings over at the farmers market and then walking downtown during a football Saturday when there are so many people in town who are enjoying everything that our community has to offer.
That's almost exactly me.
The farmers market is a great place. We're fortunate to have access to locally grown fresh foods and to be able to buy it at good, reasonable prices. But the whole feel that you have on a brisk fall morning there is just so Ann Arbor, and it's so typical of the Midwest. It's friendly, it's open, and it's a great chance to talk to people.
Yeah, that's cool. Why should people come to Ann Arbor?
Well, people should come to Ann Arbor to visit because there's a lot of really fun things to do. Everything from being outdoors on the Cascades, enjoying our parks, enjoying all the things that you can do at the University of Michigan as well, and really to meet the people who live here who are open and friendly. And I think that's why people should come to visit. People should come here to live because we have great schools, great parks. It's a wonderful place to raise your kids. You can get around town without having to drive your car, and you can get to know your neighbors and just experience the whole Midwestern lifestyle. It's just a wonderful place for families.
That's cool. Thank you for telling me that. What advice would you give to students?
High school students?
Any student.
I think you need to pursue what you're passionate about. I think you need to find the things that you like to do, and if you're able to turn them into a lifelong pursuit that can be a career but also can be rewarding to you, and understand that the path that you choose may be different from that others do, but you should be true to yourself.
Okay. What was the biggest problem you had to handle?
Here in Ann Arbor?
Yeah.
You know, we are right now working on the relationship that the community has with our police department. We have an exceptional police department, but sometimes people get to know them on a bad day, and we want to make sure that people feel safe and protected throughout our community. And our police officers want to be more engaged and want to support our public. So we want to make sure that that relationship is strong, it's positive, and it's reflective of what people in Ann Arbor are like.
Okay. And anything else you would like to mention?
Ann Arbor is just an absolutely wonderful place to live, to work, and to play. And all of us need to work together to keep it that way for your generation and for your children and those who come after you.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time. Thank you for being here. I guess we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Dos.
Aspen Job Aspen, that's the time we have on CAM-TV. To view more programs like this, visit a2gov.org/ctn. Thanks for watching, and I'm your host, Abby.
And I'm Marina, your other host, signing out.